What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give out takes on AEW. It is, Wednesday night, June 21st, 2023. This is your official AEW Dynamite review, the go-home show before Forbidden Door, a very angle-heavy show. Lots of angles going into the pay-per-view on Sunday, and let me tell you, I thought the show was really fun tonight, but man, tonight was fun. It was fine for what it was, but this weekend is going to be a fucking banger. Do you hear me? It's going to be a banger, folks. I'm stoked. I am absolutely stoked for Sunday night. The Collision card looks really good too, man. I'm really excited for this weekend. It's going to be a banger. I'm so ready. I am so ready. Tonight, going into the show, we had 4 matches announced for the pay-per-view on Sunday. We now have 6 more matches, one on the buy-in. So we have 9 matches on the main card for Forbidden Door. It's going to be a long night, but man, it's going to be absolutely legendary as well. And I absolutely cannot wait. As far as tonight goes, the Dynamite show, as I said, was very angle-heavy. Lots of segments on the show tonight. Lots of talking to set up Forbidden Door matches. The wrestling was okay on the show. It wasn't the best wrestling. Last week was miles better when it comes to the in-ring action in AEW. This week it was okay. I thought there was one really good tag team match tonight with Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata against Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia. I thought they put on a really good match, and that's probably it. As far as good matches goes, we had Chris Statlander defending the TBS Championship. We had a concession stand brawl between Jeff Jarrett and Mark Briscoe, and we had so much more on this show tonight. We ended the show with the stare down between Bryan Danielson and Katsuyori Shibata. I'm sorry. Why did I say Shibata? Kazuchika Okada. Bryan Danielson and Okada going face-to-face to end the show. So, we'll talk about it. Overall, it was a fun show. Nothing really wrong with it. It was fine. But it's setting up for what's going to be a great weekend of wrestling. They're saving everything else for this weekend. So, you're going to get your excellent shows probably Saturday night and the pay-per-view on Sunday. The pay-per-view, I'm telling you right now, we're going to go over the card later on here in the review, but top to bottom, this is probably the best match card of the entire year, and I'm not even joking. In all of wrestling, this show is probably the best match card of the entire year. So we're going to go over it. But I thank you guys for joining me tonight. And, man, what a week it was last week. We reached 500 subscribers, finally. We reached 500 subscribers here on the Big Fight Field channel. So thankful for that. Thank you, guys. Thank you to you guys watching, all my subscribers. You guys are a huge part of what we do, for what I do over here on the Big Fight Field channel. And you know what? We ain't going nowhere. Fucking I ain't leaving. I'm staying right here. And we got bigger goals in mind. Like 1,000 subscribers. It's going to take a long time, but we're going to get there. I have confidence that one day I will get to 1,000 subscribers. 500 away, but we got to work our way to 600, 700, but we'll get there. We will get there. Saturday night was fun. We did a watch along for AEW Collision. Appreciate those that came out for that. We'll be right back Saturday night with another watch along for AEW Collision, and then the following night a watch along for Forbidden Door. You know, you get a 2-for-1 again Saturday night. You get a watch along from me, and then you get a review from myself and Wesley Williams and Cameron Johnson after AEW Collision on Saturday night. You know what else you're getting? You're getting Forbidden Door preview and predictions tomorrow night here on the channel. Myself, Cameron Johnson, and Wesley Williams, we're all getting together tomorrow night for preview and predictions for Forbidden Door. We are going to talk about the show, break down the matches, and we might react to the NBA draft while it's going on. I don't know. I don't really care. I know Victor Wembanyama is going to be the first overall pick to San Antonio. The Sixers don't have a first-round pick, so, I mean, I don't really care. I know Cam's going to care because the Indiana Pacers, they have the 7th pick overall in the NBA draft, so we might be reacting to the pick while we're recording predictions for Forbidden Door. But it's going to be a great discussion tomorrow night. I'm excited to talk about the Forbidden Door with those guys tomorrow. So that'll be tomorrow on the channel. And if you didn't check out the Collision review with myself and Wesley Williams from last week, go ahead and check that out. We talked a lot about CM Punk and the return and the match and everything else that happened on Collision. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check it out. Let's dive into this Dynamite show. They were back in Chicago tonight. They were in the Wintrust Arena for the go-home show for Forbidden Door. Kicked off the night with the tag team match of the Hardys versus the Guns. Thought it was an odd choice to open up the show with. Thought the show probably would have opened up with Orange Cassidy and Shibata against Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia. That did not happen. Obviously, this opened because of the angle we got after the match. I really wasn't too much all that into this match. I mean, I got nothing but love and respect for the Hardys. They are one of the greatest tag teams of all time, okay? In their era, they were absolutely legendary. Matt and Jeff Hardy, they're going to go down in the wrestling business, and they're going to go down in the wrestling business as Hall of Famers. But in this current state of wrestling, in 2023, I just get more nervous every time I see these guys in a ring. Matt Hardy is reaching 50, and Jeff Hardy is 45, and you see him gassed 5 minutes into the match. And this is not me trying to bury the Hardys. This is not me showing disrespect to the Hardys. I'm just trying to speak facts right here. These guys can't go anymore. It's really tough to watch. It's really tough to sit there and watch a Hardy Boys match because just the way they move. I mean, these guys have put their bodies on the line for years for our entertainment. And now you see what the result is, man. Like, Jeff Hardy is gassed in the ring. Jeff Hardy is barely connecting on the Whispered in the Wind. It's really sad. And I hate saying this. I hate even talking about this. But it's the truth, man. And it sucks to see these guys limping around the ring in a match on Dynamite. It really does. So, it was fine. It was nothing too crazy. I really just wasn't into the match. The more important part was the aftermath and the result. Jay White and Juice Robinson came down when Jeff Hardy was going on the top rope for a Swanton Bomb, and Jay White pushed off Jeff Hardy, and the Guns were able to hit their finish on Jeff Hardy. They pinned him 1, 2, 3. After the match, Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, and Juice Robinson, they continued to beat down on the Hardy Boys. Matt Hardy came in there. Jay White hit a Blade Runner on Matt. Jay White was going to hit another one on Jeff Hardy. Out came Ricky Starks. The heel still had the advantage. 4-on-1. Then out came FTR. The heel still had the advantage. It was 4-on-3. And out came to a big pop CM Punk. And you know what I love about this is in WWE, it's so lame and cheesy because if something like this was going on in WWE, they would play Ricky Starks' theme music. And then they would play FTR's theme music. And then they would play CM Punk's theme music. And there's no need for that. Here we just got no music, just sprinting your asses out there and get in the brawl. That's exactly what happened. We didn't hear Cult of Personality tonight because we're going to get it 2 more times this week. CM Punk, he brawls with Bullet Club Gold and the Guns. He has Juice Robinson up for another GTS. Juice Robinson barely escapes. CM Punk gets on the microphone and he says, "Hey, listen, I'm a Collision guy. I'm not even supposed to be on this show. But if you four want to fight us, how about we do it Saturday night on Collision? And we'll see you then." So, basically, they open up the show with the Guns and the Hardys to set up this hot angle right afterwards. CM Punk got the juices flowing in that building. The crowd erupted when he came out. And we got our angle. We got our main event Saturday night for a Collision. We got CM Punk, FTR, and Ricky Starks going up against Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns. And this is not the first time, actually this is not the last time that CM Punk was brung up in the broadcast, because later on, I'm just gonna talk about it now. Later on, they revealed the bracket for the Owen Hart Cup tournament. I might as well just talk about this right now, since I'm talking about it with you guys. Tonight, they revealed the entire bracket for the Owen Hart Cup tournament. And for the men's, we have CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima Sunday at Forbidden Door. That's in the first round of the Owen Hart Cup tournament. There was rumors last week that CM Punk was interested in working with Kenta. Then there was rumors that Punk wasn't interested. And then today there was rumors that Punk was either going to face Kojima, El Phantasmo, or Jeff Cobb at Forbidden Door because Kenta didn't want to work a match with CM Punk, which I think is a bitch move because he's been on social media talking all these years how he's wanted to face CM Punk, he's wanted to wrestle CM Punk, and now the moment's here and he's backing away because he doesn't want to wrestle CM Punk. I just think that's an absolute bitch move by Kenta. It is what it is. Getting CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima at Forbidden Door, and that's going to kick off the Owen Hart Cup tournament for the men's. Not this week, but next week on Collision, we got 3 matches. Roderick Strong versus Samoa Joe. That is going to be amazing. Dustin Rhodes versus Powerhouse Hobbs, and Juice Robinson versus Ricky Starks. All happening on Collision next week. Not this week, next week. So we have that. And with the way this bracket's sizing up, I could see the semifinals being CM Punk versus Joe, which is going to be absolutely incredible, and Powerhouse Hobbs versus Ricky Starks, which they have a lot of history together in AEW. Which makes me think this finals is going to be CM Punk against Ricky Starks, which I think is a huge deal for Ricky. It's a big spotlight for him. It's been a while since he's had a huge spotlight match. He had one with Jericho. He had one with Jay White a couple weeks ago on Dynamite. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. And he's been like floundering in this feud with Bullet Club Gold. And I think this could get the momentum that he needs. And I think being in the finals of the Owen Hart Cup tournament with CM Punk is going to do good for Ricky Starks. Whether he wins or not, I don't know. But that's your men's Owen Hart Cup tournament. The women's starts Friday night on Rampage with Anna Jay against Sky Blue. And then we have Britt Baker and Ruby Soho. That's next week on Dynamite. We have Nyla Rose and Willow Nightingale. That's Saturday night on Collision. And then Sunday on the Forbidden Door buy-in, we have Athena, the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, facing Billie Starkz. And this is going to be her first official match in AEW since she signed, because she wasn't 18 years old. She is very young, extremely young, and she just graduated high school. So, good for her. Her first official match in AEW is going to be on a pay-per-view against Athena. Not the official pay-per-view, but the buy-in, which is a cool thing. I think Britt Baker gets back to the finals on the left side, and on the right side, man, I think you got to capitalize on Willow Nightingale. I praised her on the Collision review with Wesley Williams Saturday night. I'm like, she is so over. The crowd loves her to death. She's awesome in the ring. I really love Willow Nightingale. She's just the best, man. She's awesome. And I think now is the time to capitalize. I think capitalizing on this momentum that Willow Nightingale has, I think now's the time to pull the trigger on her. And the finals, you get Willow Nightingale going over Britt Baker. I think that would be absolutely massive. So those are your brackets for the Owen Hart Cup tournament. I'm looking forward to it. Last year was pretty good. This year, we'll see if it's better. We had the concession stand brawl with Mark Briscoe and Jeff Jarrett. It was fine. It was a crazy brawl. It was very short. They were fighting out in the concession stands at first. Trash cans, hot dogs, mustard. Karen Jarrett squirted ketchup on Mark Briscoe. One of the concession ladies came out and she poured water on Mark Briscoe to get the ketchup out of his eyes. Jeff Jarrett had mustard in his hair. In the beginning, this was a mess. And I'm like, in the beginning, this is awesome. And then what killed it is they went to commercial break and they come back and these guys are in the ring. But he's got Jeff Jarrett on the table. And out of nowhere, Sanjay comes out. And he pushes Mark Briscoe. And Mark Briscoe goes flying through a table. So we come back to commercial break, and these guys are, they're in the ring, and they're fighting. They're doing normal wrestling moves. Sanjay's out there, Karen Jarrett's out there, and Jay Lethal's out there too. And they're beating up on Mark Briscoe, and Jeff Jarrett tells Lethal to go set up the table near the ringside. So one of the guys that's sitting at the ringside, he doesn't get up, and he's in a mask, and he's not moving. And Lethal is constantly telling this guy to fucking move. And the guy stands up, he takes off his mask, and it's Papa Briscoe. And he chokes Jay Lethal, and he choke slams Lethal through a table, and the crowd chants Papa Briscoe. And Briscoe, he's going at it with Jeff Jarrett, and now out came Satnam Singh. And Satnam Singh comes out, and he choke slams Mark Briscoe, and for some reason you have all these dudes running out. You have Christopher Daniels, the best friends, they're stopped, and then out come the Lucha Bros the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, they come running out. And all 5 of them, they take out Satnam Singh with a super kick. And then Ray Phoenix does a top rope dive onto Satnam Singh on the outside. Mark Briscoe, I don't even remember the fucking finish. But he pins Jeff Jarrett, I think, and he gets the win. And I just hope these guys move on because Mark Briscoe is better than this. He is so much better than this garbage. So, let's move on. Let's just get these guys. Let's get Mark Briscoe into a better program. Let's get him away from Jeff Jarrett. And let's get him away from Jay Lethal. What was after this? We had let me see here. We had the Blackpool Combat Club. They were standing backstage with Don Callis and Konosuke Takeshita. Moxley was cutting a promo, and he issued a challenge to the Elite. He said, Sunday at Forbidden Door, it's going to be the BCC, Takeshita. I forget what he called Takeshita, but it was something funny. It was like, hell, we called him tall, dark, and sexy Takeshita. And his protege, Shooter Umino. Shooter is back with Mox. So we're getting BCC, Konosuke Takeshita, and Shota Umino, Shooter. And they're facing the Elite and 2 mystery partners. And later on in the night, they're cutting a promo. Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, and Young Bucks are there. They're like, Kenny already has a match. We have us 3. We have the Young Bucks and Hangman. And we know someone who hates the BCC as much as we do. And in walks Eddie Kingston. He says, I have absolutely no respect for you. And he points to Kenny Omega. And he says, I have no respect for you guys either. Which in real life, Eddie Kingston loves the Young Bucks. If you don't watch All Access, if you haven't watched an episode of All Access, you see Eddie Kingston around the Young Bucks all the time. But anyway, he says, I have no respect for you, for Hangman and the Young Bucks. But we got to do business. And if this means taking out Claudio, then that's what we're going to do. And he says, we need an extra partner. And it says, I don't trust any of you, but we're going to pick a partner of my choosing. I might not trust him fully, but I trust him more than I do you clowns. So later on in the night, we get Eddie Kingston picking out his partner in the 10-man tag at Forbidden Door, which is the last segment of the night. We move on to Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki against Action Andretti, Darius Martin, and A.R. Fox. A.R. Fox was kind of over in Chicago tonight. Good for him. A lot of people chanting A.R. Fox. I thought this match was fun. Again, the post-match angle was more important than the match. The match was fun. There were some good spots in there with Minoru Suzuki just laughing at Darius Martin for his weak shots. Some tension between Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho. Tonight, it wasn't as intense as last week, but it was kind of like cool tension between the two, if you know what I mean. You're like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. I got you. It was kind of like that. But these guys get the win. Jericho and Minoru Suzuki, by the way. Jericho and Suzuki, usually it's Jericho and Guevara who do the like sex gods pose. Tonight it was Jericho and Minoru Suzuki who did the like sex gods pose. So that was funny. That got a good laugh out of me. But the finish was Jericho putting the Lion Tamer in on Darius Martin, and he tapped out pretty quickly. And the heels got the win. After the match, Renee Paquette came into the ring, and she asked Chris Jericho. She asked Chris Jericho. Last week was the first altercation in AEW between you and the Icon Sting, and it was very much talked about. What was your thoughts on last week's alter or something like that? And Jericho's like, it's the face-to-face talked about around the world. Jericho and Sting. Everybody was excited. Everybody was living the moment with Jericho and Sting besides me. And he was talking all this shit about Sting. And he said, at Forbidden Door, how about we do like Sex Gods and Minoru Suzuki against your emo friend Darby Allin, Sting, and whoever mystery opponent you want to choose. So Darby and Sting, they come out, and Sting cuts a promo, and he's like, last week was a once-in-a-lifetime moment, but now I'm going to be seeing you almost every week, Chris. And he says, I regret not having as much time with you last week. However, I'm going to make that up because I am going to have a lot of time with you this weekend. Because I accept your challenge at Forbidden Door. And Darby's like, as far as our partner goes, we're going to tell you on Saturday. So we were left by a little cliffhanger by Darby Allin for who's going to be the partner for Darby Allin and Sting. More than likely, it's going to be Shingo Takagi. It's going to be him reuniting Sting and Darby Allin with the dudes with attitudes. So, that should be a fun match. That should be a really fun match at the pay-per-view. After this, this was my favorite segment of the night. This was my favorite segment of the night, personally. We had MJF and Adam Cole. It was Adam Cole at first. So, Adam Cole comes out, and he's like, last week, I was a tenth of a second away from becoming the number one contender for the AEW World Championship, but I wasn't able to beat MJF. And the crowd started booing, and he said, but MJF wasn't able to beat Adam Cole, baby. And Adam Cole's cutting a promo. He's talking about how if MJF wants to be the greatest AEW World Champion of all time, he has to step up to the plate. He has to take down anybody that's in his way, and he has to conquer them all. And he calls out MJF, and he tells him to get in the ring right now. MJF comes out to more cheers than boos tonight from Chicago. Wow. MJF's going to be feuding with CM Punk in a little bit, in a couple months. Chicago gave him a big reaction tonight. He comes out. He tells the production to cut his music. He says, congratulations, you're back. Not the Panama Game Boy. He didn't show up last week. The Panama Playboy, the guy that I was talking about on Ring of Honor, the guy that inspired me, he showed up last week. And man, we laid it all out on the line. I put you through a table. I power drivered you onto the ring apron. We went to war, baby. That's what MJF said. And he was doing all this shit talk, and they were going back and forth, and they had funny lines. And then all of a sudden, Tony Schiavone interrupted MJF and Adam Cole. And at the same time, they were both like, what do you want, Schiavone? And they looked at each other pretty weird. So, I mean, this is when the good comedy comes in between these guys. Schiavone's on the microphone, and he says, well, On Collision, we announced a blind eliminator tournament to crown number one contenders for the AEW Tag Team Championships, and tonight we drew our first team. And surprisingly enough, the two names that I drew out of the lottery, which, by the way, this tournament's like lethal lottery. They're choosing random names out of like a slot machine or what I don't remember what it's called. And anyway, Shivani says the first team in the blind eliminated tag tournament is Adam Cole and MJF. And they're both going crazy, and Adam Cole's like, no, I cannot team up with MJF. Adam and MJF's going ballistic, and all of a sudden, we hear Tanahashi. And Tanahashi, via satellites, cutting a promo on MJF, and he's be like, Sunday, I'm coming to Forbidden Door and taking your AEW World Championship. And he says, and MJF says, I don't know what's going on around here. I don't know what Tony's doing around here. But for the millionth time, Tony, I'm not wrestling Tanahashi. And Adam Cole's like, whoa. Are you afraid of Tanahashi? Isn't your line, I'm better than you and you know it? And then Adam Cole starts calling him a coward. And the crowd's loving it because they're playing along with it. And they're calling MJF a coward. And he's like, MJF, don't prove that you're a coward. Show up to Forbidden Door and defend your world championship against Tanahashi. And MJF starts fuming. This was like last year when CM Punk was all down and Ace Steel came out. It wasn't anywhere near that, but he fired up CM Punk. I think Adam Cole kind of lit a fire into MJF. So MJF got on the camera side and he was screaming into the camera, you know what, Tanahashi? You think you're better than me? You think you're going to take the AEW World Championship from me? I accept your challenge. I'll see you Sunday at Forbidden Door. So, and then Adam Cole says, my advice, good luck, partner. Fucking comedy gold between these guys. A really good back and forth comedy. A little bit serious. And then when Tony Schiavone got involved, a lot of comedy between these two. And if you want to get comedic with Adam Cole and MJF, you sure can. Because they're just that damn good. And both of them are just that damn charismatic. That they could absolutely pull it off. Now, what does this mean for the Blind Eliminator tournament with these two as partners? Are they going to win? Are they going to be number one contenders for the tag team titles? I truly don't know. It's really interesting, and this is one of the instances where I'm like, you know what? We're just gonna have to sit back and watch. We're just gonna have to sit back and see what happens. See who the other teams are in this tournament. More than likely, it's pairing up people with guys that, you know, they're not familiar with or they just don't like. And we got our first team here in Adam Cole and MJF. Moving on. That segment was awesome, by the way. I said it was my favorite thing on the show. Moving on. Orange Cassidy, the AEW International Champion, teaming up with the Ring of Honor Pure Champion, Katsuyori Shibata, to face Daniel Garcia and the New Japan World Television Champion, Zack Sabre Jr. I thought this match was really good. This match got 2 commercial breaks. This match was long. It was a really long match, which, I mean, I don't have a problem with. But, if anything, this match gave you a preview of what these guys are going to do on Sunday. I'll just go right to the finish. Shibata was in the ring with Daniel Garcia. You had a comedy spot where Orange Cassidy and Daniel Garcia were in the ring, and Garcia was doing his little dance that he's always doing now. Orange Cassidy was mocking it. Crowd was absolutely eating that shit up. It was awesome. Shibata and Zack Sabre Jr., they started the match, and the crowd gave him a holy shit chant because they couldn't believe that they were seeing Shibata wrestle Zack Sabre Jr. live. So, I thought that was a really cool moment. That was a cool moment. Shibata and Zack Sabre Jr. in the same ring, wrestling on free TV. Gotta love it. Let's go right to the ending. Shibata, he did his double drop kick to the corner to Daniel Garcia. He connected. He wasn't the legal man. Oh, he was the legal man, but he decided for whatever reason to pick up Daniel Garcia and set up Orange Cassidy to hit the orange punch. And this always goes wrong. Always. We've seen it so many times on the show now. Whenever your partner holds up the opponent and your partner's right behind them, it's always going to go wrong because partners are going to hit each other. We saw it twice tonight. But anyway, Orange Cassidy accidentally hits Shibata. He hits Shibata with the orange punch accidentally. Zack Sabre Jr. gets Orange Cassidy in a armbar, and Daniel Garcia takes advantage, and he pins the pure champion Shibata. Now with that, that's probably setting up a pure title match for Death Before Dishonor between Daniel Garcia and Katsuyori Shibata, which that match, that's going to be fucking great. I might be seeing that match in person. I don't have tickets yet. I don't know if I'm going to that show because it's about an hour away from me. I would love to. Absolutely. I will let you guys know. Okay? I'm hoping to get tickets really soon. But this probably sets up Garcia for a pure title match down the line. And we got a fatal four-way match for the International Championship. It's going to be Orange Cassidy defending against Katsuyori Shibata, Zack Sabre Jr., and Daniel Garcia. Telling y'all right now, that's going to be the sleeper match of the night. It's probably not going to be a match of the night with matches like MJF and Tanahashi, Ospreay and Omega, and Danielson and Okada on the card. But man, I would not be shocked if after this show or the next day or a few days after, people are talking about how great this Fatal 4-Way match was. Because all four of these guys are unbelievable wrestlers. Shibata is a master at his work. Orange Cassidy is having a run of a lifetime. Daniel Garcia is a great wrestler. And Zack Sabre Jr. is one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. So, those four guys are going to tear the house down. That could be, who knows? That might be match of the night. It's probably not going to be, but it should be awesome. It should be an awesome match. I think after this, we got the TBS Championship. The TBS Championship was on the line. Chris Statlander defending against Taya Valkyrie. I mean, the match was okay. There was nothing too crazy about it. Just another victim for Statlander. And so far, she's having a fine reign as TBS champion. Already got 3 successful title defenses. I probably would have waited out a little bit to have this match. Because Taya seems like a good feud for Chris Statlander to have. But they decided to do it tonight. And Chris Statlander got the win. Retained the TBS Championship. Match was fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Statlander retains. So that is that. That was the last match of the night. And crazy enough, we got MJF on Rampage. He's making his first ever appearance on Rampage Friday night. That should be interesting. Is that gonna make me tune into Rampage on Friday night? No, it's not, because I'm going to the Orioles game. Okay, Camden Yards Friday night against the Seattle Mariners. I'm pumped, so I will not be watching Rampage. I'll catch up on it Saturday or when I get home. I don't know, but sure, I'll probably tune into it the next day. But you have MJF on Rampage and you have Adam Cole on Rampage. So something's going to be done between them on Friday night. We'll see what happens. Saturday, Collision, the second episode of Collision. The main event is CM Punk, FTR, and Ricky Starks teaming up in an 8-man tag to face Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns. That's your main event Saturday night. We have Swerve Strickland versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. That should be fucking great. I cannot wait for that match. I can't wait to see Swerve in the ring with a guy like Tanahashi. That should be awesome. Christian Cage is going to address the TNT Championship Saturday night on Collision. We have Brody King against Andrade El Idolo. That should be really fun. We have Sting and Darby Allin revealing their third partner for Forbidden Door. And the Women's Owen Hart Cup tournament is kicking off as we have Willow Nightingale going up against Nyla Rose. So that is the lineup for Collision on Saturday night. Again, you guys are getting a 2-for-1. You're going to get a watch-along from me Saturday night for Collision, and then a review right after the show. So just like this past Saturday, you're getting the same thing from me. You're getting a watch-along, and you're getting a review. It should be a fun night. Forbidden Door, Sunday night. This is the card right now. 0 hour, we have the first round of the Women's Owen Hart Cup tournament. We have Billy Starks going up against the Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena, which announced tonight by Excalibur. The main event of Forbidden Door is Bryan Danielson versus Okada. Rightfully so. There's reading rumors that the vibe backstage was the main event was going to be Omega and Ospreay. I would not have had a problem with that, but I think this deserves the main event. Okada and Danielson, it's a once-in-a-lifetime match. You're never going to get this match ever again after Sunday night. So for these guys, the main event, I think, is the right move. So you have Okada versus Danielson, Tanahashi challenging MJF for the AEW World Championship, Jungle Boy challenging Sonata for the IWGP World Championship, Will Ospreay challenging Kenny Omega for the IWGP United States Championship, Willow Nightingale representing New Japan because she's the New Japan Strong Women's Champion. She's challenging Toni Storm for the AEW Women's Championship. I'm quite excited to see that match. I know, on a match card as explosive and as stacked as this match is probably going to be a low, calm-down match. It's probably going to be smack dab middle in the show. But I'm excited to see what Willow does in a big spot on pay-per-view. So we have Willow versus Toni Storm for the AEW Women's title. Shibata, Daniel Garcia, Zack Sabre Jr., and Orange Cassidy in a four-way for the international title. CM Punk is facing Satoshi Kojima in the first round of the Owen Hart Cup tournament. We have a 10-man tag between the BCC, Konosuke Takeshita, and Shota Umino versus the Elite. That's the Young Bucks, Adam Hangman Page, Eddie Kingston, and a mystery partner. We'll reveal it in a little bit. and a 6-man tag with Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki against Sting, Darby Allin, and a partner to be revealed on Collision Saturday night. Yeah. This is the card of the year. This is the best match card of the entire year so far. If you disagree with me, that's fine. I don't really care. In my opinion, this is probably the best lineup of matches of the entire year. And finally, we had Eddie Kingston out there, and he's talking about Forbidden Door. He's talking about how much he hates Claudio, and he says last week all he wanted to do was he wanted to kick the shit out of Claudio, and out came Jon Moxley. He says, "You know how this goes, Eddie. You stand behind me, you're a traitor. You stand next to me, we go to war together. You stand in front of me, you cross the line." And Eddie's like, no, I didn't cross shit. You crossed the line when you started teaming up with that douchebag. You're the one who crossed the line. And then Moxley whispered something to him. And Eddie Kingston's like, what? What are you going to say? What are you going to tell me right now? And Moxley's sitting there silent. And he's like, you know what? Since you're not going to tell me what you're trying to say, I'm just going to tell you my fifth partner. The fifth partner for Sunday is Ishii. He gets a big pop. Ishii comes out, and the Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio and Wheeler, they attack Eddie Kingston. Bryan Danielson is out there, and Moxley is brawling with Ishii. And Danielson, he gets on the microphone after they beat up Kingston and Ishii, and they're like, he's not coming out. Okada is not coming out, and he's proven to me why I'm the best in the world. And he's like, he's not coming out. I guess I'm just going to kick Ishii's head in. And then we hear the famous coin drop, and out came Okada to a big reaction. We get a face-to-face between Danielson and Okada. Crowd is eating this shit up. This is once in a lifetime. And Wheeler Yuta hits Okada from behind, and Danielson tells him to pick him up. We know exactly how this ends. Yep. Danielson hits Wheeler Yuta with the knee. Okada gonna hit the Rainmaker on Danielson. Danielson escapes, and instead he hits the Rainmaker on Wheeler Yuta. And that's how the show ends. That's how the show ends. So, overall, it was a fun episode of Dynamite. Very angle-heavy show heading into the pay-per-view on Sunday night. They had to get a lot of matches announced, so you could tell that this was going to be a angle-heavy show, and it was. So, but I had a lot of fun watching it, and like I said in the beginning, man, I cannot wait for this weekend. Collision, and especially the pay-per-view, Forbidden Door, is going to be a fucking banger. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. The content does not stop. In fact, we're just getting started. We got preview and predictions for Forbidden Door tomorrow night on the Big Fight Field channel with myself, Cameron Johnson, and Wesley Williams. That is tomorrow night on the channel. Don't miss out on that. And then we'll be back Saturday for a live watch-along for AEW Collision. Comment down below your thoughts on tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me in this video. Follow me on Twitter at Conlon_Joseph for all the AEW talk that I'm going to be doing this week. I mean, live tweeting during the show. Just talking about Forbidden Door all throughout the week. And it's leading up to the massive pay-per-view on Sunday night. I cannot wait. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for Saturday night, man. I'm stoked. Anyway, that's enough of me. My voice is shot. I'm getting out of here. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy. Peace.